Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode of the Watch Us Thrive podcast. This is your girl Lianne. I am back today with a solo episode because I got some shit to talk about today. Okay? I want to put it out there now that this will be a spoiler episode for Love is Blind season 6. So if you have not already caught up on all the piping hot tea that is Love is Blind, do not continue listening on to this episode because I will be talking about some major plot twists that have happened. Okay, I recommend you go to Netflix, finish watching the entire season because everything is out for you guys to binge on, and then come back and listen to this episode and let me know your thoughts, your feedback. Do you agree? Do you disagree with what I'm going to talk about? Okay, putting it out there now. Spoiler alert ahead. Okay? Thanks. So, I'm not going to talk about all of the couples on Love is Blind. There's one specific couple that really stands out to me that I really want to hone in on when it comes to having this conversation. And that couple is AD and Clay. Yes, we're going to talk about them too. Hot ass messes that somehow found each other. And if you watch the whole season, you know how it panned out at the end. But there's a lot of things in between that I could definitely relate to, being the woman that I used to be, but looking at from a lens of someone who's done a lot of work, inner work, healing from really shitty, toxic relationships in my own past. And when I saw the dynamic between Clay and AD, there was a lot of similarities that I experienced that I want to touch on today. We're only going to talk about them. If you watch the season, you know the fucking mess that existed with all the couples except for one. What's her name? Amy and Johnny. I think that's her name. They're the only one who made it to the altar. They're the only couple who got married. They were the only healthy couple. And I saw a lot online that people were like, oh, they're so boring because they didn't have any drama. They didn't have anything bad going on. And it's just such a fucked up way to think like, yo, the healthy couple who has good communication skills, who doesn't fight, who knows how to be emotionally intelligent with one another, like people just bypass that because that doesn't get ratings, right? Like we want to see the drama, we want to see the toxicity, we want to focus in on the negative. I fucking hate the society that we live in, but that's neither here nor there. But for the context of this conversation, we are going to focus on one of the really toxic couples, which is AD and Clayton. Now, I do have a TikTok video that I actually saved. Let me see how long ago I saved this video. It's going to go perfect with today's conversation. And after watching Love is Blind, and specifically AD and Clay's scenario, I was like, oh, I have to talk about this. I have to talk about this. I saved this video on June 24th, 2022. That's the receipt, so you guys can see I'm not lying. And the title of this TikTok that really coincides with Clay and AD is, do you want a partner or a project? We're going to get into it, right? What I took away from that relationship is I knew it wasn't going to work. I told myself, I was like, this dynamic right here is not going to work. They are not compatible with one another. A lot of things that I saw online about Clay, a lot of people were giving him praise, giving him props, giving him flowers for being so honest and open about him not really being ready for a commitment like marriage. And I completely fucking disagree with that narrative. I truly believe that while he was quote unquote open and had a sense of self awareness and whatever the fuck you want to call it, he portrayed himself to be someone that he knew deep down he couldn't be for her. He sold her a fake dream, false hope, giving her this illusion of what he could be, but he knew deep down he was never going to be able to measure up to it because of all the unhealed wounds and trauma that this man has. And he was very open on the show talking about, I've never gone to therapy. I have a lot of issues when it comes to relationships because what I saw growing up, my dad was a serial cheater. He actually took me when I was a kid on his cheating escapades, and he never told that to his mom, and she didn't find out until recently, and blah, 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 blah. I mean, you want to talk about generational trauma? The scene at the wedding when his mom and his dad were having a conversation after he said no to AD. Yes, I told you spoilers are in this episode. So, sorry, not sorry, because I gave you a warning in the beginning, but he gave AD this false sense. This is my opinion. Again, this false sense of like, I can be the man for you. I'm going to do it. Even though I have shit that I got to work on, even though I'm very self aware of it, I'm going to be able to live up to the fantasy that I have created. And AD being the one who's, I don't want to call her a pick me. She's definitely does not give me pick me vibes at all. But that girl was so desperate, in my opinion, again, to finally be chose that she was just tolerating fuck boy behavior from day one. Telling you, I'm fucking telling you guys. The minute I saw him, and I understand the concept that they cannot see one another, they're only going off of vibes and conversations and energy and blah, whatever. The minute I saw him, I was like, he is a complete fuck boy. And I don't understand why the fuck he's on this show. There's this one scene that AD was talking to one of the other girls who didn't really get any airtime on the show. But the other girl said to AD, he verbatim said out of his mouth that he's not a good person. He doesn't think he's a good person. And AD came back with, let's play the clip. Hold on.
Somebody that I would 100% fall for.
Yeah.
Baller, life of the party, loudest one, athlete.
Yeah,
Like,
he's a work in progress for sure.
But he's open about it.
Yeah, he's open. He's very, very open about that. Like, he kept saying, like, I'm not a good person. I don't feel like I'm a good person.
That's a red flag for me, but I'm such a fix-a-hoe that I would be like, it's okay, practice on me.
I mean, come on. She is a walking red flag. Like, everyone's saying that he's a red flag, that he got the issues. Yes, absolutely. I 100% agree. He's a fuckboy, like I said. Like, he had no business being there. But she said it out of her own mouth. I'm a fix-a-hoe. You can practice on me, even though I know you ain't shit. You got baggage. You got things you got to work through. But let's test run all your baggage on me and I'll just take it on, right? And that goes into the TikTok video that I'm going to highlight during this conversation about a project versus a partner, and how many of us women attract these type of men that we need to somehow fix. We have this Jesus savior complex that, like, oh, I'm just going to take care of you, and you can put all your shit on me and I'm going to build you up. And then we focus in on this fantasy that we create instead of taking who that person is at face value for who the fuck they are, whether it's a man or a woman or however you identify yourself, right? And I say this speaking from experience because in my past relationships, I was AD. I was that woman who found the quote unquote broken man and felt like I needed to fix him. I needed to control him. I needed to change him. I needed to make him into the version of him that I saw instead of taking him for who he was standing right in front of me. And that led me to heartbreak. That led me to depression. That led me to being in toxic and abusive relationships. That led me to almost losing my life, that I talk about a lot. And my last relationship that became physically abusive. And it was because I ignored all the red flags that were waving bright fucking red in front of me. But I chose to be like, you know what? No, I can fix him. I can be the one to change him. I can be the one to make him into the man that I think he can be. And that's such a fucked up mentality to have, ladies and gentlemen. We need to stop feeling like we can be fucking Mother Teresa and being like, I'm gonna fix him, I'm gonna save him, I'm gonna change him, he's going to become the one for me. And yet and still you seeing all the bullshit that comes with trying to change someone when they should be already it for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's two different clips that I want to share with you guys that shows there are two different types of women when it comes to being in a relationship. The first one is AD, the one that I just played. I'm Mrs. Fix-a-Hoe. I'm gonna save you. You can do all your bullshit to me and I'm just gonna ignore it and we're gonna work through it and blah, 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 blah. No. Okay. But then there's another type of woman, which is the one who got to the altar, the one who got the healthy man, the one who said yes. And this is why.
I'm done with potential.
I'm done with potential. I need it now. Like, we're at the age where the potential should be there.
A man should be fully potential.
I feel like I just get so excited about love.
Now that was Amy. I think her name is Amy. I really hope I'm saying her name right. I believe it's Amy. And she's, again, the one that I said that got married, got the man, the quote unquote boring couple because there was no drama. And that is the type of woman that I feel like every single one of us should aim to be. We're done with potential. We're done with being fucking Bob the Builder or Betty the Builder and wanting to fix a man. Like, no, you need to come fucking correct to be in my space. And that goes in with the TikTok that I talked about earlier that I definitely want to get into. But, you know, this season of Love is Blind, this season in particular, there was so much bullshit. It clearly just showed me that the majority of the people who are on here do not need to be in a relationship and need to be in fucking therapy and need to be doing the work because there is so much insecurity. There is so much jealousy. There is so much emotional immaturity. There was so much bullshit between so many of these couples. Don't even get me started with fucking Jimmy and Chelsea or Jeremy and Laura. Bruh. That's a whole nother conversation for another day. But I'm telling you right now, the shit was a fucking mess. But I really wanted to focus on AD and Clay because that's something that I could relate to. Wanting to build somebody up in order to have the relationship that I'm creating in my head, but then suffering in reality for what it is. So now that gets me to the TikTok video. I'm going to play it for you guys and then we're going to break it down because there are so many fucking gems in here that I was just like, yo, I need to record a solo episode about this. So let's play it.
Do you want a partner or a project? I just wanted to help them. I just wanted to show them what love was. That is not your job. That's their job, not yours. I done told y'all to stop being fixer-uppers. Stop trying to be Bob the Builder. Y'all be looking at relationships and dating as HGTV renovations and you be falling for the potential. Oh, they can be so beautiful. Who cares? Who are they right now in front of you? Somebody done approached you and you done found somebody that look like they need some help. The problem is not them. The problem is you because you saw somebody that looked like they needed help and then you volunteered your services and went in there trying to fix somebody. And what you really were trying to do was trying to change them so that way they can fit into your picture, so that way they can fit into your dream and they can measure up to what it is that you need. Baby, if they are not measuring up at the beginning right now in front of you, you're going to end up measuring down. You are not their therapist. You are not their doctor. You are not their nurse. You are not their pastor. You are not their financial advisor. Baby, that is not you. I used to make that same exact mistake and it ran me crazy. Well, I'm here for a reason. I must be placed in their life because I'm meant to save them. I'm meant to help them. Baby, the angel and the devil on my shoulders are looking at each other like, you got somebody that's always asking you to borrow money because they go to the club every weekend and spend their money on bottles. And then you got that one person that one left tooth is always bothering them in the back of their mouth because they refuse to go to the dentist. And then you got the other person that's been sick for about 11 days because they refuse to go get some insurance so that way they can be seen by a doctor. And here you are trying to find out everything that you can do to help them in the middle of the night because you feel so bad. Baby, that is their job. You better start making people DIYers. They can do it themselves. You are not responsible for their poor upbringing. You're not responsible for that. If mom and daddy didn't love them right, we all have the resources to go get help. You are not responsible for being their mother. Stop trying to be people's rehabs, baby. Do you want a partner or do you want a project? Because that project is going to end up becoming a dependent. Because for all of y'all who keep on complaining and talk, but I had to be their mama and I had to be their father. Yeah, that was you. That's your fault. You saw it when it was in front of you. You saw that they were not capable of loving you right. You saw all of the red flags, baby. They were not going to measure up to your standards. You saw it at the beginning, so why did you ignore it? The problem is you.
I mean, whoa. That is from, what's her name on TikTok? Definitely going to link her in the show notes because, like I said, I saved this back in 2022. It is 2024 when this episode is being recorded, okay? So I've been sitting on this shit for 2 years and I was just waiting for a perfect moment to record this episode. And after watching Love is Blind and AD and Clay, I was like, oh, this is fucking perfect. So her name is Kitty J. Rose. Saw her on TikTok on my For You page. And I mean, I can just relate so fucking much when it comes to focusing on the potential on someone. And, you know, I think what's so important in what she said in that video is like, the problem isn't them. The problem is you. And that is, again, what I stand on 10 toes down on this platform. I talk about it all the time. Taking accountability, looking in the fucking mirror and realizing, bitch, you are a part of the motherfucking problem. And that was me for so many years in so many different relationships and situationships and dating scenarios, like just focusing on what it is that I could do for them to make them be the man that I want them to be, but then taking on all the bullshit that comes with trying to build someone and trying to control them and trying to change them in order to conform into me and my standards, which my standards back then were non-existent. Let's just keep it a buck. Let's keep it a bean. Let's keep it a stack. Let's keep it 100, right? Like there was no standard when it came to the old version of Lianne. And honestly, it makes me think back when she said the part about that fucking tooth in the back that's always bothering you. Yo, it literally took me back to my last relationship, the one that became abusive. So story time real quick for you guys. This was, I don't know, maybe like 7 months into the relationship before it started to get abusive and really, really toxic. My ex, and it makes me laugh because I saw this meme. I'm going to get to the story, but I saw this meme on TikTok talking about Clay where he smiled and he's missing a side tooth. And it said something about like, never trust a man who's missing a side tooth because it's always be the ones who don't got a fucking tooth on the side who always be on some bullshit. And it makes me think back to my ex because he also had a side missing tooth. That is a red flag, ladies, okay? If the man ain't got teeth in the back, it's a hell fucking no, okay? I'm just putting that out there now. You need to have all of your teeth, okay? Because I just know it's gonna be some bullshit if you ain't got a side tooth. But anyway, back to my story. So he didn't have insurance. He was a bum. Let's just call it what it was. He was definitely a bum. He pretended to be someone that he wasn't. I thought that he had a family business and he was a great electrician and had all this money coming in. It was just bullshit. But I didn't do my due diligence. I didn't do my research and really getting to know this person. I was digmatized. I was caught up. It was COVID. The world was shut down. It was a mess, right? So he didn't have insurance and he ended up catching an infection in his mouth, in his tooth, because of whatever. And I remember there was this one, oh God, thinking back to who the fuck I used to be in that relationship, it makes me fucking sick. But that's neither here nor there. It got so bad that he was in so much pain. He couldn't afford to go to urgent care. He couldn't do this, that, and the third. Legit, it was like 2 o'clock in the fucking morning during COVID. And my Betty the Builder ass got in my car, went to a few different CVS's to see which one was open because, again, it's during COVID. And I spent my own money getting him a prescription for an antibiotic, making up something that, like, yeah, I have this tooth thing and I need medicine. And then I got him like a cavity filler and I got him some pain medicine, doing all this shit, trying to fix him, trying to save him, trying to be the one to be like, I got you, babe. I got you. And meanwhile, this motherfucker was cheating on me in the entire relationship. He became verbally, emotionally, physically abusive, treated me like fucking garbage. But I'm going out of my way to try to save you, to try to make sure you're okay. And it's just like, ugh, it makes me fucking sick to my stomach thinking about it now because it's like there were so many things about this person that I just, in my spirit, I knew it wasn't right. Like, he was not it. There were so many fucking warning signs and red flags going off, but I was ignoring it because there was such a lack within of me having the thought of being alone during COVID. I don't have anyone to be on lockdown with. You know, this is the most attractive person I'd ever met before in my life. And, you know, he's been treating me so well before all the bullshit started. And like, just being like, you know what? It's fine. It's fine. We can work through it. It's okay. And I'm just so tired of us women finding these types of relationships and staying in them way past their expiration date, knowing damn well we ain't got no business being with a piece of shit person like this. But then it all comes back to like, what is it about you, my love, that you feel like it's okay? Like, this is acceptable. And again, it has to do with looking in the fucking mirror and taking accountability and being like, you are the fucking problem. And what you were choosing to deal with, you are the creator of your own chaos. You are the creator of your own suffering. And I talk about this shit all the fucking time. Like my girl said in the video, it is not our responsibility to be these people to shift and change and lose ourselves in the process of being in these draining, soul-sucking fucking relationships, right? You're not his therapist or her, because women are very toxic too. You're not the financial advisor. You're not the priest. You're not the fucking social worker. You're not their mother. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not your responsibility. And if you do find yourself in this type of relationship and you're not happy, but you're not doing anything to fix or change or leave the situation, you're the fucking problem, babe. You are the motherfucking problem. And it's going to have to take for you to do some real deep soul searching in order for you to be like, when the fuck is enough enough? Like, when are we going to start putting on our big girl panties and being like, you know what? I didn't sign up for this bullshit. I think falling in love with someone's potential is so dangerous. And that is something that I have done time and time again in my past relationships. I saw what they could have been, what I imagined them to be, the delulu that y'all love to talk about nowadays, that I created in my brain of like, this is what our life could be like. And then coming to realize that, like, this is not what my reality is. That's what keeps you in this mindset of like wanting to leave and then staying and then fighting and then making up and then going this back and forth because you're holding on so hard to what it is that they could be. And that's so fucking toxic. That's such a fucked up mentality to have because it's just like, who is this person right in front of you? Who are they showing you exactly how they handle things right in this moment? Not what they could be, not what you think it could be. Like, what is it right now? Right here, right now. What are they showing you? And take that for what it is. And then you're able to make the decision to be like, I don't really like how this feels. This is not something that I signed up for. And then giving yourself the permission to be like, nah, I'm good. This is not it for me. But you know, that really does come with going through those types of experiences and doing the work and really getting to know yourself on such a deep, intimate, personal level. It took for me to go through some really shitty, toxic relationships in order for me to Be like, you know what? Nah, I'm not gonna do this shit again, you know? And I just really feel, I don't want to say I feel bad for AD, but in a sense I do, because she fell in love with the potential. She fell in love with what it is that she thought he could be. In so many ways, he told her, like, I want to be this for you, but I can't. But I think the way that he went about it was so fucked up. Like having her get the dress and having all the friends and family there just for her to walk down the aisle and be like, you know what, psych, we're not doing this. You know, I think that was so fucked up. And he could have ended it way fucking sooner, but he chose not to. And I think he was really wrong for that. I don't agree with that at all. But again, there's also some accountability on her part to be like, you saw what it was. You saw that he wasn't shit. You saw that he had all this baggage from his family. You saw that he's not emotionally intelligent enough to have these deep, meaningful conversations. Honestly, thinking back to watching the show, he only spoke about himself. Every single conversation that they had somehow was able to turn back to being all about him. And I don't know if y'all caught that, but watching through it and then seeing clips, I'm like, yo, everything is always about him. Every single fucking thing turned to being about Clay. And that shit was a fucking turnoff. Like, she was praising him, she was bigging him up, she was saying all these things. And then when it was his turn, he didn't do shit for her. It was all about me, 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 me. And that just gave me like, ugh. You're so fucking selfish and self-absorbed, and he's all about ego. He said that shit from the beginning. My ego is so big. It's a gift and a curse and blah, 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 blah. That's what turned me off so much about him. Because, like, yo, he's so used to being able to get women because he's very attractive. He got money, dresses very nice. He's able to get motherfucking women, right? But I think he leaned so much onto that he felt like he didn't need to do the emotional work to heal from his baggage and heal from his trauma and heal from the generational shit and all that. It's like, he was just very unattractive to me from the beginning. I just feel like it's really important for us to take inventory on ourselves and to stop feeling like it's our responsibility to fix that other person or to heal them. You're a grown ass fucking man. Okay. He was Clay talking about 30 years old. She's 32. He was very adamant about, like, I've never been to therapy. That's your motherfucking problem. Okay. You're not going to trauma dump all your shit on me. And then I'm left bleeding and broken and having to fucking pick up the pieces. No, absolutely not. Like, I need for us women to have some standards within ourselves to be like, I'm sorry for what you experienced, but that is not my issue to handle. That is the shit that you have to work through. And it's okay if, like, we cannot be together. We need to be better at walking away in the beginning. We need to be better of, like, when this shit doesn't feel right, honor that, know that, be like, you know what? Nah, like, I've gone down this road before. I know how this can end up. I'm not willing to try again. I'm not willing to be Mrs. Fix-a-Ho, like AD said. Let's channel our Amy energy. You need to come already fully potentied. Like, I love that. Like, you need to already come with what it is that you have at your own table. I have what I have at my own table, and we come together and we make a beautiful fucking meal together. You know what I'm saying? But, like, don't come with these little breadcrumbs and, like, all your fucking baggage and trauma and then expecting me to be fucking Betty the Builder and fix you fucking up. Like, no, bitch, we ain't got time for that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, not sorry, actually. It is 2024. At our big age, you know, us millennials, if you were born in the 70s, 80s, 90s, like, come on, yo, at our big fucking age, come fucking correct or leave me the fuck alone. Period, point blank. I never again will ever dishonor myself for someone else. That is unacceptable in my book. And I've learned that because I've gone through some really shitty things. And I really have been able to learn what it is that I will and I will not tolerate. And I will no longer be someone who will fall in love with the potential. I am no longer someone who wants a project. I'm done with that shit. I'm channeling my Amy energy and being like, you gotta come fully correct. And I know we're all a work in progress. I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I need you to at least know what it is that you're working on and actively working through it and not bringing your bullshit to me because I'm not. I refuse. I fucking refuse to ever deal with that toxic bullshit ever again. And I think that's really the biggest takeaway that I took from Love is Blind this season is like, we're not dealing with the bullshit anymore. We are not dealing with Project fucking Patrick. Project fucking Patrick. Hell no. We're not dealing with that shit. No, ma'am. So, moral of the whole Love is Blind AD Clay story is stop falling in love with someone's potential and taking someone for exactly who they show you that they are in the beginning. Honestly, that's how you'll end up deflecting and ejecting a lot of bullshit in your life. I think it's so important for us to really get to know ourselves by ourselves and really grow our standards that we have, despite the shit that we've gone through in the past, and not repeat the same mistakes. You know, like AD said in the beginning, she is so used to dating the baller, the life of the party, the one who got money, ending up in really shitty fucking relationships that don't last. What's the definition of insanity? Repeating the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. She fell in love with what she knew. She fell in love with what was familiar to her. She fell in love with the potential. She fell in love with the fantasy and ended up getting fucking heartbroken at the end because she knew better, but she didn't do better. And that's where the accountability aspect needs to come into play. Like, baby girl, you got to go to therapy. I know she said that she started therapy last year. Keep fucking going because you need it. Okay. I think she needs to do a lot more inner work within to heal those wounds in order to find the type of caliber men that she's looking for and to walk away when the shit don't feel right in the beginning and stop being Mrs. Fix-a-Hoe. Like, stop doing that shit. Or you're going to keep ending up in these very shitty situations and then be heartbroken over and over and over and over and over and over again. Like, come on, bro. When is enough? So let this be your reminder to stop falling in love with fucking potential, stop being all about these fucking projects, and start loving yourself enough to be like, nah, I'm all the way good. I can do bad all by my motherfucking self. I don't need someone else to bring me down. No, we're not doing that in 2024. Let us channel our Amy fucking energy, okay? You gotta come fully correct. We not playing with potential no more, okay? And that's that on motherfucking that. Now, as y'all know, I got my phone out. Every single solo episode, we close out with the Be Fucking For Real Corner featuring your girl Lianne, where I read Reddit users' submissions on relationship advice and scenarios that they're dealing with, and I put in my 2 cents. I always find the really long ones, but the tea be piping hot. So this one is a woman writing in, and the title is, I found out my boyfriend cheated on me on Christmas Day. It is long, y'all, so again, I'm going to read it. If you're watching on YouTube, I'm going to put it next to me so you guys can read along with me. Let's get into it. My boyfriend and I have been dating for about 3 years. We've been long distance for 2. We've recently been discussing marriage. Before we started dating, he was very promiscuous. He was single then. And when we started dating, he told me that that was over with. And while he was promiscuous as a single man, he had never cheated in any relationships he'd been in. Okay. We started off great, and he was very transparent about who he was meeting and why, and all the other details when he went out. And trust grew over time, such that I stopped needing these details. Over the past year, things have become incredibly difficult for us being long distance. There have been lots of arguments and fights over small things, and sometimes big things. And it just seemed like we've been moving from argument to argument. Oh, girl, I can relate. Because we figured that distance was the problem, I started flying in to visit him more so we could at least spend some time together. I've never felt the urge to check his phone, but since I started visiting in February this year, I couldn't shake the feeling that there was something I didn't know, so I started checking his phone. Listen, you go fucking look. Let me wait. At first, it was flirty messages to other girls on Snapchat. and he allegedly had exchanged some inappropriate messages with a very close female friend of his, but they were all gone because Snapchat. The messages I did see from my perspective were bad because I would never send those kind of messages out knowing I was in a relationship. We talked about it and I let it go. He apologized and explained to me that the messages meant nothing. Everybody he spoke to knew about me and that he loves me. And yes, they were inappropriate, but it's nothing. Okay, gaslighting. I know this is long, but I really need advice and I'll try to make it shorter. Every visit, there was something on his phone. I'm a very private person and I've tried to explain protecting your partner, and I found that when we fought, he would send screenshots of our messages to multiple people and would be talking about me in very dismissive ways. I also found out that he was telling people private information about our sex life and other things I've begged him to keep private. This last trip, I found out that he's been trying to reach out to his ex who blocked him. He follows her on his burner account and likes all her tweets and has been trying to get her to accept gifts from him anonymously. He also told 2 of his close friends that he regrets being in a relationship with me and hoped things worked out with her. He's also been flirting with his longtime friend with whom he has one of those "if we're not married by 30 packs." He's also been telling people, his male friends, that he's single. It's a bunch of other things that I've forgotten now, but we spoke about everything. He apologized and things have been fine. Oh my God. He's communicated to various people that he's unhappy. He was asking me why I didn't trust him and why I kept looking through his phone. One time, after I found a particularly hurtful message, he told me that he hopes that I found what I was looking for. Wow. Another day, he made a joke about how forgiving I was and I was going to leave, but he apologized profusely and said that he stopped making the joke halfway through and hoped that counted for something. He said he stopped because he knew it was inappropriate, and I eventually forgave him. Long story short, I found everything there was to find in his phone, and I found there was nothing else. I randomly decided to pick up his iPad on Christmas morning and found out that he had been cheating. He cheated before I came to visit on this trip, and he was texting the girl to let her know he missed eating her out and other things repeatedly while I was in the house with him. We were supposed to spend January together, him coming to visit me, and he was telling her they would see in February after he came to see me. I took the pictures of the text and confronted him on Christmas morning. He immediately deleted the chat and has been begging and saying that he was going to tell me and that it was a mistake and it was one time. And he got texts from the girl to corroborate that it was one time. Oh my God. I packed my stuff to leave and he followed me until we almost made a scene in the middle of a thankfully empty street. He's been begging since, and I believe now that it was one time, but I don't believe much of what else he's saying. I already miss him, but I don't want to be a fool. Baby, you already are. All these things are a pattern to me that shows that he doesn't care about me, and he's been fighting tooth and nail for me not to call things quits, even though I already have, or to at least give him a chance to fix things. For context, my trip this time was for 6 weeks. He slept with her the Monday of the week I traveled. I traveled on Saturday that week, and he's been texting her since when I was in the house. This trip was for us to reconnect and fix things, and I've really given it my everything. I thought everything was good. I don't know what to do. Should I give him another chance? Am I silly for thinking that? Or should I just cut my losses and move on? Miss Ma'am, be so fucking for real. Oh my God. And this is exactly what I'm talking about for this entire episode. Falling in love with someone's potential instead of taking them for exactly who the fuck they are and who they are showing you over and over and over. I'm gonna keep this short and sweet because I think y'all already know what I'm about to say with this situation, but cut your motherfucking losses, okay? First of all, for me, long distance will not work. This is for me personally. I know some people have been in long distance relationships and it works great for you. The way my trust issues are set up, there's no motherfucking way. I'm not living life day in and day out worrying about if you flying a bitch in, if you got someone in the house with you. I'm not doing that. Long distance just not work for me. It does not. I don't like it. Nope, nope, no, 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 no. Good on you if it works for you, not for me. But I mean, honestly, after the first time, that should have been it. That should have been it. He's playing in your face. He's talking shit about you. He's saying how he's unhappy. He's texting all these bitches. He's reminiscing about eating this bitch out. Like, whoa, that was TM fucking I honestly would be worried that like you need to go get tested because he's very loose. He's very loose and he does not give a fuck about you. He's only worried about himself. But at the same time, you are also a part of the fucking problem because he knows that he can get away with fucking murder and you're gonna just forgive him and be like, it's okay, babe. Don't worry about it. Just say sorry a few times. Tell me how much you love me. Tell me how much you care about me. And then we're just going to work it out. And then he's going to be like, oh, see, I fucking did it again. She don't give a fuck. She ain't going nowhere. I could do whatever the fuck I want. Like, you are setting the tone for your fucking relationship, babe. You are setting it up. You are setting the tone for your motherfucking relationship, for what it is that you are allowing to continue to happen. You are continuing to reward his bad behavior. So you need to put your big girl panties on and being like, no, I fucking deserve more than the bullshit that you're giving me. Like, please, y'all, can we stop? Can we stop falling in love with motherfucking potential? And taking these motherfuckers for exactly who they showing you the first time. Like first of all, how old is he? 28, 26, almost 30? If you have a motherfucking Snapchat and you're a grown ass man, I'm gonna need for you to exit stage left fucking immediately. Like immediately. Why do we have Snapchat if we were born in a year that starts with 19? Why? Why are we on Snapchat? I stopped using Snapchat in like 2016, 2017 maybe. Like, come on, bro. At our big fucking age, we're really communicating on Snapchat. Snapchat is just an easy app for you to fucking sneak around and cheat. That's it. If a man asks you for his Snapchat, he got a fucking girlfriend at home or a wife at home or a situation at home. No. I'm not fucking talking to you on Snapchat. Please grow the fuck up. Be so fucking for real. That's the first red flag. That's the first one, right? So again, it all just comes around full circle. It's all about taking accountability, looking in the fucking mirror and being like, you're allowing this bad behavior to continue happening. Now you are the fucking problem. You are the fucking problem, but you can also be your solution. And what is the solution? Packing your shit, booking the next one way out, and never fucking returning or speaking to him ever again. Go no contact, block him on everything. Honestly, change your fucking number. That's what I did when I left my last relationship and he was trying to reach out to me from fucking prison and getting inmates' girlfriends to call me and his brother was reaching out, and I changed my fucking number and I blocked everyone who was associated with him because I was done. So you have to get to the point that like, I'm fucking done. I'm done being this fucking doormat. I'm done with you playing around with me. I'm not dealing with it anymore. Bye. Like, come on, we don't have time. And I keep saying this shit, but we don't have time for the motherfucking bullshit games that a lot of these men are bringing. It's not fucking worth it, babe. It is not worth it. She wrote an update. Thanks everyone for your comments. I went back to get the last of my stuff from his apartment and have blocked him. Thank you, Jesus. Unfortunately, I can't change my return flight, but I'm staying somewhere else and he doesn't know where I am. I will test for STDs once I get back home, which is a few days away. That's it, babe. Cut your fucking losses. Learn from this experience. Definitely take time to heal. Don't jump into a new relationship because you're sad or lonely. Don't reach out because you missed him. Don't think about all the good times that you remember and trying to outweigh the bad shit that has clouded your relationship for 2+ years. Like, no, he is not going to change and you cannot be the woman to make him change. He is not someone who needs to be in a monogamous relationship. He needs to be a whore on his own. Like, go on and whore by yourself, okay? Don't bring me into the shit because he's not. He's not going to change. And you pretending to leave or threatening to leave, and then he just comes running back with some "I'm sorry" and "I love you" and some sex and some flowers and some fuck that. He's not going to change. He's not going to change. You cannot be the one to make him change. So That's my 2 cents for the Be Fucking For Real corner with Lianne. Let me know your thoughts. What are your opinions on this scenario? What are your thoughts and feelings around this whole conversation? If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, I would love for you to leave a 5-star rating and review and share this episode with anyone that you know, anyone who you feel needs to hear this. If you feel like they're in some sort of relationship that they're focusing too much on the potential and need a little loving bitch slap across the head to be like, wake the fuck up, you need to hear this, share with them and let them know. Thank you guys so much for being here. I love you all so much. Please continue to share. That's how the show can grow. That's how people can learn about it. I love doing these solo episodes. Go watch Love is Blind. The reunion is coming out this week. I cannot fucking wait. And until next time, it's your girl Lianne, sending you all the love, light, and healing.